Hey everyone, Nerd Named Mark here. Let me put the lid on my pickles. It's time to go over episode 45 of Kamen Rider Geats. Um, so due to a lot of stuff going on, Comic Con last minute had some things going on there. Uh, my 1 year wedding anniversary was this past Monday. Going back to work after being injured and working back full time again. I honestly just haven't had time to do my review for episode 45 of Geats. I have another video going up about King Osier over the weekend. Because of time constraints and honestly, the heat here, we're in like a heat dome. So we've been having rolling blackouts with both the internet and also power itself. So I'm not really going to have the time right now to do my normal review where it's full of clips and this and that. I apologize. I will hopefully have the reviews back to normal with clips and everything else. Uh, Hopefully starting like mm, with 46. Um, but I I don't dislike Geats. I don't know where this like I had multiple comments from one person spamming on my Gachard video for some odd reason, saying that apparently I hate Geats. That's not the case. I'm actually really enjoying Geats. I don't hate this arc. I wish this arc happened sooner. There's a lot of moving parts to the show right now that I wish were handled differently, but I'm actually still really enjoying Geats. And but there's some issues. Like with this episode, it starts off Baroba is completely fine. After what we saw at the end of the episode, I was hoping we were gonna get something else about the like her with her getting her ass kicked and her face kind of changing in the mirror reflection with Michinaga antagonizing her. Nothing of that was brought up. And she basically approaches and recruits Japan back into the fray because she wants the world to be miserable just like him. And I was like, that's it? Like, all right. I do like that we are getting more progression on Ace with his powers. We find out Nago's ID core was repaired because of strong wishes. So Ace needs more allies who share slash believe in the same wish as him, and it can come to fruition. So I was like, all right, they expanded on that more. It's nice that they all kind of now know what's going on. It's still weird to see like everyone all teaming up. Like we have Win, Michinaga, Neon, and Ace. Um, my thing with the grand end, because remember it wasn't completed, is Jito can just open the gate and he brings in some VIP viewers and supporters. And these are all the people who are a fan of bad ends. And I feel like the ball was really dropped with spectators and supporters because I feel like if we had these interactions with them throughout the show, it would have made more of the elements earlier on more interesting and kind of could have been used to like fill in some plot issues here and there. But like, oh, how did this happen? Well, there's viewers who, with their tablets, because the tablets, and they were sending out buckles or this and that. Hey, it could even be used as to why the boost buckle always attacked Keiwa, because that's still something I don't understand. Um, I do like, like I said, there's a lot of follow up and a lot of progression made. We see Nan all happy with her mom going out shopping together. And, it's nice to see that, we kind of get a follow up to their relationship. Uh, the pan just shows up, and I like how he still has the Magnum buckle in his bag. Like, that's his thing. Um, and like I said, with these supporters, these viewers, and this and that, they're just sending buckles to him through their tablet and to hook the pan up. And I'm like, this is cool. Like I said, this I wish because like even after the disaster arc, it's like man, we spent so much time with Gene and Kuhn, focus elements, even Kakura right now, he's been very predominant. But it's like I would have liked to see other like not just supporters, viewers, and how they're like interacting with the show and this and that. And I think that'd be really cool and an element that kind of seems a little too little too late in my opinion. And I mean, Japan ends up shooting Nan's mom in the arm. Uh, I don't. Uh, my thing with Japan coming back, and I don't know his name. I'm just gonna call him Japan. It's kind of like for the longest time I kept butchering Buffa's name, and even though it's Michinaga, it's pretty easy. But like I kept saying Buffa. Um, it's awkward to kind of use Japan as this character to try and like relate to Keiwa, especially when he's trying to say, look, we have our similarities, but Keiwa's expression, his body language, and how he's reacting, I feel like that was kind of pushing him away from staying with Baroba and Kakura and staying on course. Um, and I completely forgot this was called the Apocalypse Games because there's nothing really apocalyptic about it. And, you know, this whole, there's a lot of stuff that just, I don't think is necessary. Everyone was like, oh, well, we can't just defeat Keiwa. We have to like change his mind. And they're going to use Daichi. And I'm like, oh, God, who actually still has Jamato DNA in him. So he healed up rather quickly. So when Ace and when Keiwa reset the world, I guess, Daichi still is part Jamato. Um, and his tree of knowledge is now just a regular tree. But I'm like, damn, do we really need a redemption arc for Daichi? Like, not everyone needs redemption arcs. You could just, I don't know, let him be a dick. Let him just be a douchey dick character until the show ends. We don't need everyone. We don't need a redemption arc for him. And their whole spiel is they want to revert the world back to the way it was prior to Keiwa's wish to save Sarah. But I'm like, Keiwa brought back a lot of people who were lost their lives to the DGP with his wish. Yes, he lost his parents again and his sister and some other people probably along the way. But it's like you're gonna basically revert this, and they're not gonna be revived. So I was just like, there's a lot of innocent people that were probably brought back, and I don't know, like it's weird. I do like um that Win has been just, he's not a rider. I don't know why. Probably some repaints of his helmet and stuff. That's probably why. But I did like that he tracked Jito down. He was tracking Jito to find Sumari, and you know the whole entire time. Let's face it, the buildup for this is Ace versus Keiwa, and everything about this was good. I like a nice dual henshin. Always a good way to hype up the beginning of a fight. And we had this new female watching on with the X Geats or whatever, the black and blue version of Geats Mark 9 from the summer film watching on. And I don't like Kekura and everyone and the supporters sending different buckles to Keiwa, because I was always curious, with the Bujin sword, would he use other buckles with it? And having things like the monster and boost with it, I don't like when those ones are on it. They don't look that good. Like, I like the form on its own. I don't like when monsters added on it because it looks weird with the helmet still being Bujin sword, and then like with the monster, like I don't know, set about it. That suit as its own, it'd be like Boost Mark 9 if you used other driver. It's like, no, this is a complete look. Um, and I always like when we have civilian fights, and it seems like most of the civilian fights are basically Jito, because Jito and Win are going at it. I thought that was really cool because Sumari was able to escape, but Jito got hands. Okay, let's face it. Like he basically knocked out Win, and I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. That's not a big deal to me. Um, so the Ace and Keiwa fight, it's very visual appealing, but knowing that like Ace, his main plan is to change Keiwa's mind, he wasn't giving 100%. And that's the issue I have with most of these fights. I wait, like Buffa and Geats fighting the last time they didn't feel as like serious, because that wasn't Ace wasn't giving 100%. This same here, and I'm like, man, like we've seen these powers he has with Boost Mark 9, and he's barely doing any of the good shit. He's not. And he actually lets Keiwa hit him with the boost victory, which Keiwa even brings up all my thoughts and probably everyone else. Why did Ace stop fighting? And Ace even says, he can't change his mind by force. And because Sumari escapes, she shows up, and, she even reiterates, like, Ace is trying to create a world where everyone is happy, including you, Keiwa. And Keiwa says, if he could, he would like to believe that. And Keiwa even says, like, show me you could change the world, as, he draws a sword on him, and he's in civilian form, and the sword did not look sharp. It looked very EVA foam. It did not, and I was like, oh, but I like the sword. I don't care. Um, and Sumeri this whole time has been saying her and Ace share the same wish. As she's running over, she starts glowing. Well, hell, all of them start glowing, honestly. And Sumeri returns back to normal. Now Ace is rocking the all white fit with the very, very awkward white wig. And Ace says, "Watch me change the world." And he henshins, and all his blue pillar things show up around the city. Everything goes white, and the world has changed, and the episode just ends. My thing is, I don't like a lot of redemption arcs. I'm not a masochist or like negative, and I want everyone to stay evil, this and that. I just think this was a very anticlimactic build-up for Keiwa's character. If he's really this, like, his, like, the conviction of he wants his family back, and I don't feel like there was that big, like, from the hints of the previews, obviously Michinoku and Baroba are going to fight. So unless Keiwa has, like, a final showdown against Kakura, I don't know, like, the pairings. Like, okay, Daichi's still around and he's part Yamato, but he's like, okay, like, he's getting a redemption arc. So it would have to be like Jito and Ace fighting. It would have to be Michinaga Baroba, and then it would have to be Kakura and Keiwa, and then Depan and Neon, because Depan's still around. Like, I don't know where they're going with this, and I'm trying to figure it out, honestly. But it's one of those things where I'm just along for the ride. I still am enjoying the show. Just some stuff always falls flat. Now there's a chance they can rebound from it because 46. So I'm waiting. We also had the summer movie, which looks appealing and interesting, but I don't know. As of right now, I'm just like, okay, I'm curious where they're gonna go with this. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you have any theories, are you enjoying the show? I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not on the hype train of Gachard is coming up, like, because that's why I don't really dive deep into the next show when it's announced, other than that one video I did, because I like to keep watching what's currently airing and not be distracted by what's coming next. But yeah, I do have an update video coming up for King Osier stuff. I am working on some Toku adjacent. I did review book volume 1 of the Henshin manga slash graphic novel. So if you haven't already checked that out, I do have some toys I'm working on now that I have everything set up. Like I said, just a lot going on right now. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.